Well, welcome once again to another episode of Building Your Business. When you think in terms of building a business, there are certain aspects that you must think about. We want to talk about that today in our podcast and give you some tips, go over a few handy dandy things that will help you in making sure that you have a viable business or enterprise, or maybe if you're just leading a team, things that you want to think about. Each department and each company, as we begin this discussion, they have various functions, strategies, and plans. And some people get strategies and plans mixed up. They think that they are the same thing. But a strategy is more or less identifying what is the intended purpose. So you must identify what is your intended purpose for your business or product line or your service that you want to deliver. Once you understand the intended purposes, now you execute a plan. The plan maps out for you how you're going to achieve it, setting timelines, looking at budgets, looking at resources, looking at all of the things that you need to do to implement in order to get to the said strategy. So one of the things that we consider is probably one of the most important parts of your business is research and development. Hey, you probably didn't know when you were in high school and junior high why your teacher assigned you a paper where you had to research. You see, you always research things before you write them down. You have to gather the data points. You have to consider what everyone else in your particular industry is doing. What does the industry itself look like? How many buyers are in that market? What are their price points? What are they looking for? What will your product do that someone else's product doesn't do? Sometimes the advantage that you have may not even be the product. It could actually be the service that you provide. Take the mortgage industry, for instance. Mortgages are mortgages. So what differentiates one mortgage company from the next could be its service, which means in that particular industry, you're probably going to do more investing in your workforce, researching the type of workforce that you want to have. So why is research and development, why is it important to a business? Well, research and development is important for a business because it provides powerful knowledge, insights that leads to improvement to existing processes where efficiencies can be increased and costs reduced. It also allows businesses to develop new products and services to allow it to survive and thrive in a competitive market. And let's kind of break that down kind of bit by bit. So when we think in terms of research and development, we need the insight on the product, the powerful insight of the knowledge, insight that leads us to improvements. A lot of companies, and think in terms of your company or your product, you can become a leader in the market by becoming more efficient with the current process that you have. Researching, is the particular process that your customer service associates are going through, or whatever business product line you're developing, is that process efficient? Because efficiencies will help you in your bottom line. And of course, in any business, what is the most important part? It is the bottom line. It is the profits, the net profits that you're turning out, and that you're able to show investors that your business is growing because you are able to give out better returns. And then it gives you a foot up because in your industry, you want positive news. And so when you have efficiencies such as new computer programs, what is that going to cost you? How long does it take you to implement it? Will you be able to do it business line by business line or enterprise wide? Do you need to do it enterprise wide? All of this information needs to be gathered. Then somehow you want to try to find out the information of your competitors. What are they doing? What type of efficiencies do they have in place with their process, policies, procedures, standard operating procedures? So your processes will either increase or decrease your cost. Of course, if you become more efficient, you're going to save money. Less efficiency will cause you to spend more money. Then in business development, if you're wanting to launch a new product or if you want to improve a new product, you have to do the research. What will consumers be willing to pay for it? The price points that you set, will they bring a profit, or will you go into debt launching a new product or revamping a new product? Is the product user friendly? Is it what consumers are looking for? Are they really concerned about that? Or maybe you're going to market these particular products or services to a certain segment, maybe a high-end segment. What would they look at as opposed to the average Joe on the street? Maybe they don't need all the bells and whistles. So you have to do the research and understand your consumer market. And so this is how you're going to thrive. This is how you're going to increase your footprint. This is how you're going to be able to get a great return on the research and development. Now, companies who don't spend money in research and development will find that they're going to pay for that in the long run somewhere else. Now, we all know that one of the greatest markets that a lot of research and development is done in the pharmaceutical industry. They spend billions of dollars every year on research and development before they market a particular medication, because they want to make sure that when they put that medication on the market, that there's not going to be blowback from customers, that there's not going to be great numbers of people taking their medication and having adverse side effects. So when you're doing your research and development for your particular product, you want to make sure that you're able to mitigate losses and returns on shipments and lost shipments and items that are subpar, that seem to be having problems and issues. You want to research suppliers. See, there's a whole involvement in that. Various pricing points that suppliers are providing to you and how you pull all of that together. Now, as it relates to the current market and as it relates to what we're doing in class, we have these projections. And when we look at my current projections of the company I've been working for, we've made a lot of decisions on research and development, marketing, and some of the decisions that we've made have not been good decisions, because as we look at some of these decisions that have been forecasted in sales and products that we've been selling, we see that we are in a position where the company financially is not making a lot of money. We don't have a lot of cash on hand. When you look at our balance sheet in the Capstone Carrier, you see that this particular company needs a new infusion of cash. Our liabilities are higher than our cash intake, our short-term liabilities and our long-term liabilities. Now, where can we cut costs? Are we able to recoup some of this by our sales? Are we pricing it at the right price to be competitive with our competitors? And also, are we pricing at the right price in order for us to make the maximum profits? It looks like some of the decisions that we've made with our particular products is that we've not made good enough decisions that we can offer a return to our investors, and we're cash short right now. So we've got to go back and look at our current marketing fluctuation, our current marketing schemes, to make sure that our marketing department is marketing to the correct audience that we need, that we're getting out the proper excitement about the products that we are offering, and that we also need to take a deeper dive and look at, is it a service issue? Maybe we're not providing the best of service, or the quality of the product may not be seen to be a high standard product because we're losing in profits. Our profits are decreasing week on week, and our market share in our stock is decreasing. The price per shares are going down. So there's not very much interest. So right now it would be very hard to get individuals to think about investing in our company, and we could run into a situation where current investors would want to pull out. So now we have to go back and look at the Capstone Carrier. We have to go back and look at what the competition is doing, what the market is doing, and we're going to have to do some restructuring on our product development. Not only product development, but we're going to have to take a look at our pricing structure. We're going to have to take a look at our marketing, who we're marketing to, a whole lot of things, and we're going to have to start recouping somewhere so that our company can look better from an asset standpoint of view, especially as it relates to cash on hand and cash to grow the business. We've continued to borrow additional funds, and our debt ratio is extremely high. And so we got to find a way that we can reduce our debt ratio so that we have, again, more financial liquidity to be able to grow the business. So I hope you learned a little bit today during this podcast. I want you to tune in next week. We'll continue to talk about the growth spurts of the business and how we're doing, and we will turn this around. So this has been your research and development moment, and thank you for tuning in.